All right, hello and welcome. If you are watching this live or replay, I want you to know something right away. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. This isn't another webinar where I overwhelm you with information or tell you to just try harder. And this is not a motivational talk. This is a conversation about your body and why it's been speaking louder and louder. So, if you've been feeling foggy, exhausted, reactive, inflamed, disconnected from yourself, I want you to stay with me. Now, a few invisible struggle that most women come to my practice and say is that most women who find me aren't lazy. They aren't failing and they aren't doing nothing. In fact, they're doing everything eating cleaner, cutting sugar, trying supplements, pushing through exhaustion, and yet their body feels more unpredictable every year. Let's list a few things. And in your head, you can also list out like what exactly do you feel right now or in the last few months or weeks. Hot flashes, night sweat, brain fog, weight that won't respond, low motivation, a nervous system that feels constantly on. And would that look transfer to you? Some women feel like they just have to constantly go, go, go because of the demand for life. But then when they crash, they need to have a break. They just cannot relax or calm down. And what makes it worse is a quiet question in the background. It is just how it's going to be now. Let that sink in. So here's the truth. And I want to say this clearly right from the start. Your body is not broken. What you are experiencing isn't random and it isn't just aging. It's your physiology responding to years of input. That sounds like a very overwhelming statement, is that years of input such as stress, blood sugar swings, sleep disruption, hormone shifts, depletion of energy, of mood, of sex drive, of vibrancy. And your body is adaptive. That's the beauty in that all of it. And when it can't compensate quietly anymore, it gets louder. Your body is a signal. It will tell you, and you feel it. And you feel like the inner voice gets louder. How can I shut it up? Sometimes we don't need to, we just need to listen to it. So the real danger isn't the hot flashes or the fatigue. The real cause of what's happening when women normalize feeling off for too long, they stop trusting their body. They shrink their expectations. They plan their lives around symptom instead of capacity. For example, my mother, when she fell on the ground because she was so alert and jerked off her body, where at the point where she was so surprised that the dog was stay outside of the door. When she opened the door, she was walking and bam, she fell off. And because of that, she hurt her elbow. And the balancing that she had was not very optimal. So after that, she was so afraid of walking, so afraid of going outside, so afraid of stepping up the stair. We as a family have to pay the cost because we have to encourage her to get her into that physical therapy to balance her stuff out and to strengthen. No matter how much a family member can help or any other person can help, it's all come down to personal belief, anchor, and action. So all of these, and slowly without realizing these costs, they lower the bar for what feeling well even means. Like we don't even remember what well means. Like, is it the normal life right now? And I am adapting to that age. And how can we respond to that? So that's not a hormone problem. That's a missed opportunity for intervention. There's so many interventions out there. We can really pick and choose embodiment of Qigong, Tai Chi, supplements, herbs, peptides, hormone replacement, bioidentical hormone. It can really a lot more. However, what is a one system that fits you? Or do we just go to the Black Friday news or the New Year news and see which one is on sale? Let me just grab them. It's gonna be good for me. Therefore, we just keep doing random things. Which buckets do you land on? I'm curious. So over the next 3 days, I'm not here to fix everything for you. That would be a dishonest. But what I would like you to do and us to do together is that we we are here to do is to help you understand why your body is responding this way, what is actually asking for, and what changes when you stop guessing and start working with your physiology. I repeated that phrase one more time. Working with your physiology. It's not like a full-time job. Everyone have a job to do. Be a mom, be an employer, be an employee, be an owner, be everything. And now we have to work with our physiology. There's too many jobs. So the more we really get to know our temple, that we know that we have. In the end of the day, you sleep with yourself, even though you have a partner next to you, but still, you are in your own body. And if we master our own body, we'll know how to navigate everything else around us and help us to save time, to save money down the healthcare costs later, and save those relationships that we can also nourish and cherish in the future. So today is about understanding, and understanding creates relief faster than any supplements ever will. I promise you that. So let's start here, not with what to do, but with why your body feels off in the first place. Because once that clicks, everything else changes. It becomes much easier, smoother. So let's begin. Before we go any further, I want to ground this in real life. If you're here live, drop one word in the chat that describes how your body has felt lately. And if you're watching this replay, just answer this for yourself. One word. I'll give you about 30 seconds. All right, very great job. Let's come back to the screen now. So I'm seeing foggy, wired but tired, exhausted, inflamed, disconnected. I want you to notice something. Not one of those words means lazy. Not one of those means undisciplined. Not one of them means failing. And these are physiological words. And again, foggy, wired but tired, exhausted, inflamed, disconnected. So when women come into my practice and use these exact words, They usually think they are describing a personal flaw, like something wrong with me, right? But what they're actually describing is a body under load, a nervous system that hasn't fully exhaled in years. We stuff up a lot of things, we hold on to the emotion, and we just get into our body and just hold up somewhere in our body physiology. That's called like pain. The body keeps score. And we don't know where to release it, like where to get it out of the body in a very natural, holistic way and gentle way. And sometimes it bottle too much, become rage, right? If you experience that, you can agree and nod your head. A metabolism that's compensating quietly until it can't anymore, such as a full-blown weight gain, sugar craving, diabetes, or any other complex condition of cholesterol health, etc. A hormone system that doing its best to keep you functional even when resources are low. So we tax onto our system for a long time until it becomes louder and it doesn't function anymore. So none of this is random. Our body works as a whole person. So what's interesting is that I hear the same words from women in their late 30s, 40s, and 50s, regardless of how healthy they eat, how much they exercise, or how successful they are. Different lives, different stressor, different history, same pattern. That's an interesting to be a doctor, to see the pattern recognition, which tell us something important. This isn't a willpower. Here's what concerned me the most. Not the symptoms themselves, is how quickly women just adjusting their identity around them. They stop expecting mental clarity. They plan their days around energy crashes. They normalize being a little off all the time. And I totally understand because we trying to have a hold of what is going on in the body. And when we don't have the clarity of the answer that we're looking for, we try to explain our body condition based on what we have to know. Therefore, all of those information was not clear and we internalize things. And that become like a downhill rabbit hole. So that adaptation is not neutral. It's your body asking for support and being ignored. So today, we're not going to talk about fixing anything yet. We're going to talk about why your body is speaking this way and what's actually responding to. Because once you understand the language your body is using, you stop fighting. Who would love to stop fighting about something? Who feel tired of fighting and who still feel like I have so much energy that I want to fight for life, right? And a lot of people can be a fighter too, and quiet fighter or sacred fighter. You can use whatever words with that, but we all have that resilience as a way. And also, how can we normalize and neutralize those resiliency to really help our health to go forward and further? So, and that's where the real change begins. So, all right, let me share my screen for a second so you can see exactly where we're going to do today. And this is my screen right here. Let's do that for now. And this is one, and I think you can still see this one right there. Okay, good. So this will help you stay oriented and not feel like you have to take frantic notes. And if you take notes, that's great. If you're driving, listening to it, welcome to take some mental notes. And when you go home, write down as a journal. That could be very helpful. So today's we're starting with the why. Why? Not protocols, not plans, not supplements, just understanding. Because without understanding, nothing sticks. If you agree with me, when you don't understand what your body is responding to, you end up doing random things. Yeah? You try something for 2 weeks, you don't see a clear result, and then you assume it's you as a problem. However, it's not you. Is that the approach wasn't aligned with the actual driver. I do so many testing to find down, deep dive into what is going on for diagnostic. And that is the one of the PAN method to really help to find out, is it cellular? Is it about hormone issue? Is it about environmental toxin that someone exposed to mold houses for a long time, 20 years ago? Any toxin can really store in your body organs, still store in your bone, and that need to be released. Or physical exam to really find out, are you aligned? Is your tongue, your eye, or your reflexology? Those practitioners out there do an amazing job to integrate your body with telling you, hey, this is how your body's responding. Sometimes a client come out and say, I'm so confused. One person say this, one person say this. It's okay. When you really ask, hey, the other person say this, what do you think about what I should combine that information with your information? When you bring different opinion or expertise together, they will formalize a very holistic path for you. And if the provider have no idea, that's okay. It's their limitation, and you can also search for the answer from somewhere that the some other person that can have the holistic answer for you. And ultimately, you are the answer for yourself. So let's do, thank you for that. All right, thank you for staying with me. I'm going to come back on the camera because this part matters. I want you to understand why I built this way I did, because it's directly connected to what you are experiencing. I created this event because I kept hearing the same thing from women over and over. I don't feel like myself. These were capable, driven women, women who hold families together. They are the clues. Women who run businesses, women who get things done. And they weren't sitting around doing nothing. They were doing everything right. Eating cleaner, trying supplements, working out, hit workout, weight, cardio, stretching, yoga, everything, drinking water, cutting sugar, pushing through. Who's with that with me for the last part? What they were missing wasn't an effort, it was the explanation that was missing. So, as a naturopathic doctor, I look at the bodies through a system lens, not just what symptom do you have, but what system is under strain, and what is your body trying to compensate for? And what I saw over and over is this: midlife symptoms are often the first time the body can no longer hide imbalance. Have you ever walked through a woman? I'm not stereotyping, but I'm getting there too because of my own age. In late 30, 40, 50, it's just like they just say it out loud, no filter, because they had enough, have no time for it, right? You may have heard those comment before, and it's truly very, very realistic. So the body has been adapting for years, and then one day, women wake up and think, why am I suddenly not okay? You didn't suddenly become weak. Your body simply reached the edge of compensation. Ugh, the edge of compensation. So let me give you a common example. No names, just the pattern. A woman comes in and tells me, I'm tired, but my mind won't shut off at night. I'm craving sugar, especially at night. My sleep is lighter. I'm waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. My mood is shorter. My weight is harder to shift. I don't feel like myself. And she's usually carrying shame. That's a big word, shame. Shame does combine all of those experiences from childhood, advanced traumatic experiences, and anything happen in between. Childbirth can be one of them, any car accidents, any motor vehicle accidents, any injury also magnify shame. Like something is wrong with her discipline. But what's actually happening is predictable. Her stress response is up, her blood sugar is unstable, her nervous system is not getting true recovery, and her hormones are doing what they always do. They respond. But when she learns that, the relief is immediate, not because everything is fixed, but because she finally stops blaming herself. self. Stop blaming yourself from things that you've been doing so hard for your body. You've been doing all the things you can. And now the next step is, what is a holistic explanation, guidance to help you get through the other understanding is a wisdom of the body too, right? And I want to be honest about something. The longer women stay in the loop of guessing, of pushing, of self blame, the more it costs them. It costs them energy, it costs them confidence, it costs them relationships. And because you're more reactive when you're depleted, a time because you're constantly trying to figure it out. And the biggest cost is this: you start believing the new vision or version of you is permanent. The belief is dangerous because it stops you from seeking the right kind of support. So this happened for my mom, and I learned that my mom had a helplessness, learned helplessness, and it's really trickled down to me for a long time, and I didn't understand why do I have that limiting belief where I just don't think I can help myself in this capacity of life. And then I asked my mom, "Hey, mom, do you ever think about you would learn English?" That's one thing you learn about my family. And my mom said, "No, I'm just not good at it. So therefore, I don't want to learn about it." And it's been how many years we've been in America, and she doesn't speak English, and it's okay by me. I take care whatever I can with her. And that is a new belief back in 20 years ago that she believed it, and she just never really touched into that anymore. And because of that, it cost her time to go to the doctor and cannot speak the language. And for the limitation of the language itself, she doesn't understand what is the reason of taking this statin medication, this metformin medication. Doctor tell me to do it, so therefore I should do it, regardless of the research about how the negative impact it can do for diabetes when on statin, etc. I love conventional medicine and naturopathic medicine. Combination is helpful as long as the explanation of why. Why are we doing the thing? And what is the cost of doing things? Right? So, and yeah, as this belief is dangerous because it stops you from seeking the right kind of support. So, if you only hear one thing from me today, is this: your body is not broken, it's responding. In a moment, I'm going to put that on the screen because I want you to actually see it, and let your nervous system absorb it. So let's go there. All right. So I want you to see this, not just hear this. Read this with me. Your body is not broken, it is responding. That one sentence changes everything. Because when you think you're broken, you push harder. Is that the opposite? When we think we're broken, we even push harder. It's just like we're trying to fight against something. So therefore, we prove that we're not wrong. So what happens if we reframe it, right? So this get stricter. You blame yourself and you stay stuck. When you realize your body is responding, you stop fighting it. You're curious about like what happening, what am I responding to, what is going on, so you keep going down to different answer. It is become like a game that your body is putting out, and it just invites you to like, hey, listen to me. And you start asking a better question: what is my body responding to, right? So I'm going to back the camera again, so let's do this, and show your most common reason this happened in a way that feels clear, not overwhelming. All right, breathe with me for a second. How are you doing? Let's just check it. If that line hit you emotionally, that's normal because most women have been living inside a quiet story that says, something is wrong with me. Today, we're replacing that story with physiology. And here's a promise for day one: by the end of this session, you understand why these symptoms are happening at all and why the solution is not simply trying harder. So let's name what's happening for many women in midlife. You wake up tired even if you slept. Your brain feels lower. You lose words. I feel like, where's the key? Where's the conversation I had with my husband the day before? You walk into the room and forget why. You cannot multitask like you used to or switch tasks like you used to. You get irritated faster. Some people go full blown rage. You crave sugar or carbs even when you don't want to. You gain weight even when you eat less. You sleep becomes lighter. Your sex drive changes. Your joints ache. You feel like someone unplugged you. Oh, that's the very worst feeling to feel. I felt that before. And the shocking part is this: many women assume all of that is normal. Common does not mean normal, and common does not mean acceptable. So here's a framework I want you to borrow, and you're welcome to borrow from today's session. A symptom is not your enemy. A symptom is your body communicating, responding, communicating. Your body only has a few ways it can get your attention. It can changes your energy, your mood, your sleep, your appetite, your temperature regulation, and your focus. Imagine a child, they don't speak yet, so they have to scream, they have to yell, they have to cry, they have to get your attention, moving their hand. Your body is within yourself. You have your head, you have your eye, you have your brain, you have your body temperature. So all of those will shift and change. So that's how it's communicating. So welcome to the new world of your own body communication. So when your symptoms show up in clusters, like multiple things at once, like fatigue plus cravings plus sleep disruption plus anxiety, that is not random. That's a good news, right? That's a system under strain. So when I say your body is responding, I mean this. Your body is constantly choosing survival over thriving when resources are low. And now this is true to my family. We were back in the Vietnam War where uncles and aunt are fled the country and they was the boat people. And as to the end, my mom, my dad was in Vietnam, stay behind. Um, and resources was very low. So therefore everything's just going down towards survival mechanism. And that's me, the next generation, I do adopt that intergenerational trauma. So therefore, everything become like I had to do well in school, or I wouldn't have a job, or I wouldn't have to make money to pay for my future dreams, etc. Right? If anyone in that same boat, you understand what I mean. Or this can apply to different situation as well. And if your body senses stress, instability, or depletion, it will prioritize keeping you functional today, even if it costs you clarity, libido, metabolism, or mood. And those costs is the one that most women come to my office is about. Hey, Dr. Evelyn, can you help me with my sex drive, my feeling for pleasure, my stress, my sleep? What is going on? Can I get it all back? And that's a great thing that you're seeking for the guidance to help with. And this is why willpower doesn't work. You can really choose go to the gym all day long, exhaust your cortisol level by working out very hard and not supplying it with a good protein, and that can even cost your body even more, etc. in different conversations too. Because you're not negotiating with mindset, you're working with biology. So now I'm going to say something direct because it matters. If you ignore these signals, your body doesn't usually get quieter, it gets louder. And the cost isn't only physical, the cost is you stop trusting yourself, you stop trusting your body, you stop making plans because you don't know how you feel. You withdraw socially because you're tired. You become less patient with the people you love. You start thinking, this is just who I am now. And imagine, I'm not just going to this direction where a lot of women will recognize this, and then some people are like, oh my gosh, she's going to divorce rates. And imagine this the family relationship dynamic. It gets harder. People separated. When children grow up and they test empty nest syndrome happen, Now, you and your husband or partner have to get to know each other again in a different body, in a mature way, right? Not the same thing as like 15, 10 years ago anymore. What do we do about it? Do we separate apart or we learn what is going on to merge together again? And what is a gray zone in between? So that belief is one of the most expensive beliefs as a woman can carry because it delayed real intervention. So the next question becomes, what is my body responding to? Because when we identify the drivers, we stop playing whack-a-mole with symptoms. And this is where most health advice fails. It treats hormones like separate problems, but hormones don't act alone. And we have so many hormones in our body, not just thyroid, not just sex hormone, right? I'm going to show you five most common drivers I see. And I'm going to keep it simple. So let's put that on the screen. All right, here we go. So let me give you the simplest map I use clinically. When women tell me they feel off, these are the five most common drivers underneath the symptoms: stress, blood sugar, sleep, inflammation, and safety. Meaning, does your nervous system feel safe enough to heal? If even one of these is off, hormones get louder. If multiple are off, symptoms stack on top of each other. Now, this is not meant to make you overthink your life. This is meant to give you relief because it shows you there's a reason. I'm going to come back to the camera and walk you through what each of these look like in real life. So you can recognize your own pattern. All right. So here what you want to do as I walk through these. So don't diagnose yourself. Don't try to fix everything at once. You may hear that before. Just listen and notice which one makes you think, oh, that's me. Because when you can name the driver, you stop chasing random solution. So first, driver number one, stress, also called cortisol load. Stress is not just emotional, it's physiological load. It's a deadline, it's caretaking, it's the mental list that never ends, it's not enough recovery, doing life in a body that hasn't had a real exhale. Stress shows up as waking up tired, feeling wired at night, irritability, anxiety that didn't used to be there, light sleep, and cravings as a form of self medication. So just listen to that list and check which one is a driver for you. When stress chemistry stay high, sex hormones don't get prioritized, so they go down. Metabolism adapts, and the body chooses survival. So, number two, blood sugar as a driver number two, which is energy and cravings loop. So this is one of the most underappreciated reason women feel crazy about food. If you ever said, I'm fine until 3 p.m., I can't stop thinking about sugar at night. I need coffee to function. And if you rationalize, oh, the small size versus medium size, large size, or the Diet Coke having better coffee, caffeine, low, the ingredient or the dose of a caffeine, then you're in this category. I need coffee to function. Not big, not small, it's just coffee to function. I feel shaky or irritable if I don't eat. That's not weakness, that's biology. Blood sugar swings don't just affect energy, they affect mood, hot flashes, sleep, brain fog, and hunger. And this is why dieting often backfires in midlife, not because you're doing it wrong, but because restriction without stability increases dysregulation. Number three drivers, number three is sleep, is a hormone reset window. So sleep is not a luxury. It's your hormone reset window. When sleep gets lighter, shorter or disrupted, especially with 2 to 4 a.m. Waking, your body loses its ability to regulate appetite hormones, ghrelin, leptin, stress hormones, cortisol, and inflammation like HSCRP, C-reactive protein or ESR, or even like MPO. Many women think if I just push through, I'll be fine. But the body keeps score. You read that book, right? The body keeps score. Sleep depth makes everything louder. Cravings, pain, brain fog, mood, and hot flashes. Now, driver number four is inflammation, which leading to pain, weight resistance, and brain fog. Inflammation is often the reason women describe themselves as puffy, stiff joint, achy in the back when you wake up, ankle, heavy, just feel like that, heavy, or foggy, like can't think of word and just like can't think clear, like there's a big veil of cloud over your body or your mind. Inflammation can come from many places: gut irritation, food sensitivities, alcohol, poor sleep, chronic stress, environmental exposures. When inflammation is high, joints hurt, weight become resistant, skin changes, brain fog increases, and your body feels less resilient. Again, this isn't a character flaw, it's a load issue. Okay, just want to check in. How is everyone doing? Just put in chat if you feel doing good and need any more support, have any question, feel free. Okay, now let's talk about driver number five is safety, nervous system capacity. The fifth one is the most important and the one no one talks about, safety. If your nervous system doesn't feel safe, your body won't prioritize healing. It will prioritize getting through the day, getting to the safety. And safety could also mean introversion. I will finish my job, get to my room, and just be myself. Safety can also mean I'm gonna just fulfill myself by eating a lot, stress eating, or I'm gonna just vomit whatever I eat so therefore I feel pretty safe about my body. Or safety can feel like I'm going out there, socializing with my friends, dancing, just having fun. It can show up in many different ways. And the only way is your way of how you feel safety. So if your nervous system doesn't feel safe, your body won't prioritize healing. It just prioritizes getting through the day. So safety looks like, can you downshift? Can you digest? Can you sleep deeply? Can you recover from stress? And if you go through a lot of stress through the week, in the weekend when you sleep overnight, when you wake up, do you feel as if you have enough sleep? If you don't, then that is a sign. So many women are functioning, but they are functioning in survival mode. That's why just do more doesn't work. We don't want to keep doing, right? We want to be. You cannot out hustle physiology, and that's a fact. Now, notice what's just happened. You probably recognize yourself in one or two of these, maybe three. And here's a big takeaway: your symptoms are not random, they are predictable outcomes of drivers of those stress, blood sugar, sleep, inflammation, and safety, which means there's nothing wrong with you, there's something to address. And that brings us to the myth that keeps women stuck. Let me put it on the screen here for slide number 6. There you go. All right. This is a myth that I want to interrupt because it keeps smart women stuck. Read it with me. Trying harder isn't the solution. If trying harder worked, you would not be here in this section. Most women respond to symptoms by getting stricter: less food, more workouts, more pressure, more supplements. But when the driver is dysregulation, pressure makes it worse. Understanding comes first because understanding changes what you do next. So let's come back to the camera and talk about what's happened when women stop blaming themselves and start working with their physiology. So if you've been responding to symptoms by trying harder, I want to normalize that. That's what high performing women do. You solve problems, you tighten up, you push through, you hold it together. And the problem is that the hormones don't respond well to pressure. Metabolism doesn't respond well to punishment. And your nervous system cannot heal in a state of constant demand. So the very traits that make you successful in life can keep you stuck in your body. Here's a loop I see all the time. You feel tired, so you use caffeine. Then you crash, so you crave sugar. Then you feel guilty, so you restrict. Then your body feels unsafe, so you hold on to it. It holds on. Then you feel discouraged, so you try harder. That loop isn't a moral issue, it's a physiology issue. And it's one of the reasons women feel like they are losing control of themselves, of their body. So if that loop continues long enough, something bigger gonna happen. Women stop trusting their signals, they stop trusting hunger, they stop trusting their mood, they stop trusting their capacity, and they start living smaller. They plan around fatigue. They cancel plans because they don't have the bandwidth. They get less patient with their family because they are depleted. Which one you feel more aligned with you or you've been there before? And many women quietly grieve the versions of themselves they used to be. That grief is real and is also a signal. Your body needs a different strategy. So the shift I want for you starting today is partnership. Instead of what's wrong with me, we ask, what is my body responding to and what does it need? This is not about doing nothing. It's about doing the right things in the right order. Right things in the right orders. When the body feels safe and supported, it becomes like responsive again. Energy becomes easier to access, cravings reduce, improves, mood softens, and becomes less resistant. So now, this is where generic hormone advice on the internet fails because two women can have the same symptom and totally different drivers. One woman has cravings because she's under eating protein and crashing. Another has craving because the stress chemistry is keeping her in a survival mode. Another because sleep is disrupted and appetite hormones are off. So if you tried things that worked for someone else and they didn't work for you, you're not the problem. You needed a correct starting point. So let me going through the slide one more time here. So on this one, we'll dive deep into the pathway. It's simple but very powerful. Understanding leads to regulation, which leads to relief. Okay. Day one is about clarity of the why. Day two, we talk about a what to stabilize. Day three, we talk about how to personalize. So this is not a promise that everything changes in 72 hours. This is a promise that in 72 hours, you stop guessing. That's the first start. And you start understanding. And you experience your first real shift because you're finally supporting the right thing first. So now, I want to give you something small to do tonight because action creates momentum. If today did one thing for you, I hope it did this. It helps you stop blaming yourself because when a woman stops seeing herself as broken, she becomes available for real change. Let that sink in. And today was about understanding tomorrow. We move into what your body actually needs to start calming the system. So tomorrow is a state that most women wish they had years ago because I'm going to teach you the core stabilizer that influences craving, energy crashes, brain fog, mood swings, and even those why am I waking up at 2 a.m. nights? It's not a complicated plan, but it's the missing foundation. And when women get this piece right, they often feel a shift quickly, not because they are forced it, but because their body finally gets what it's been asking for. Now, I'm going to say this with care. The women who get the most out of this experience are not the one who watch passively. They're the one who participate, not perfectly, just intentional. You don't need more pressure. You need a clear next step. So here's your assignment for tonight and this afternoon for today. It's simple. I want you to notice one signal your body gives you today or tonight. One, just one. It could be a craving, an energy crash, irritability, brain fog, waking up overnight, feeling wired at that time, or that moment where you feel unplugged. Write down in one sentence what happened, what time, what was going on right before. That's it. Okay. Tomorrow, I'll show you what that signal usually points to and how we start stabilizing it. So let me put the assignment on the screen so you can screenshot it. All right. So tonight's the micro win for today is not a full plan. It's a data point. You're not trying to fix the signal today. You're just noticing it. Write down one body signal. What happened, what time, and what was happening right before that. So we're going to do a short Q&A now. Quick note, I'm happy to answer questions, but I'm not going to prescribe protocols for individual inside a live training. What I can do is help you understand patterns so you leave with clarity, not more confusion. And if you have a personal health question, you can still ask it and I'll answer it in a way that helps the whole room. So let's drop in the chat. And if you don't have a question, I want you to answer this instead. What was your biggest aha moment for today in one sentence? Let's give it about in 30 seconds. All right, great. So let me come back to the camera here. So a few questions I show or notice is that how do I know if what I'm experiencing is hormones or just stress and life? Great question. And the honest answer is usually not either or, it's both of them. Stress and life change hormones, and hormone shifts change how resilient you feel under stress. What I look for clinically is not one symptom, it's a pattern. For example, if you're noticing lighter sleep, more irritability, more cravings, and brain fog stacking together, there's a sign that stress response system and blood sugar regulation are impacting your hormone signaling, the word signaling. And this is why just wait it out doesn't work because the body adapts in a direction of survival. The win is learning to identify the driver so you can support the right system first. Tomorrow we'll go deeper on the stabilizer that affects both stress chemistry and hormones. so your body can start calming down instead of compensating. Let me check for any other question here. All right. I'm doing all the right things, eating clean, exercising, supplements. Why do I still feel off? This is one of the most important questions of midlife. Most women are doing the right thing, just in the wrong order or without personalization. If your nervous system is in survival mode or your blood sugar is swinging, your body may interpret even healthy habits as more stress. That is the opposite of what we usually think, right? For example, intense workout plus under eating plus poor sleep can look healthy on paper, but biologically, it can keep hormones dysregulated. So the issue is rarely effort. The issue is alignment, what your body needs first. That's exactly why we started with why today. When you understand what your symptoms are responding to, you stop throwing darts and start building a plan that actually fits. And over the next 2 days, I'll show you the core stabilizer and how personalized changes the results. So if you want to keep the momentum and direct um, for the tomorrow, either of those questions felt like you, make sure you're back tomorrow. Day two is where women usually feel the first real shift. All right, we're going to wrap for today. Here are the three things I want you to walk away from day one. Number one, your body is not broken, it's responding. Number two, symptoms are signals, they are data, not failures. Number three, trying harder isn't the solution. I hope you hear this multiple times so far and sing that in. The solution is the right strategy in the right order. If you felt relief today, that's not small. Relief is the beginning of change. Tomorrow is where we shift from understanding to stabilization. We're going to cover the core stabilizer that affects craving, energy, brain fog, mood swing, and that's wired but tired feeling. And I want to be clear, tomorrow is not about perfection. It's about a few foundational moves that tell your body you're safe, we're rebuilding. That's when women start noticing the first shift. Okay. If you're here live, do this right now. Type I'm in for day two in the chat. If you're on replay, say it out loud to yourself. I'm in for day two. It sounds simple, but commitment changes to follow through. Before we go, remember your micro wins assignment tonight. Write down one body signal, what happened, what time, and what was happening right before. Bring it tomorrow. We'll use it. I'm proud of you for showing up today or even listen to the replay, and I'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time. Bye for now.